Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Little did we realize that Valentine's Day is coming upon us. And one way or another, we will put a stop to what is coming this way. Because either way, we gotta get to February 15th, so at least the candy will be half priced. It must be put a stop to. Yeah, I said it. Actually, what the hell am I talking about? Look, hold up a minute. You know, once again, we're giving this whole thing a little bit too much power here. It's just a damn day. I don't understand why people freak out about it. You know, if you didn't get it by now, I mean, chances are you could probably get it well on the way to Christmas. Yeah, you know, this stuff's ridiculous. Anyway, hey, let's start it up from the top. Here we go. Welcome to the J-Man Show here on
J360 Radio.
Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better at Aquavita. Visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, what's going on, J360 Legion? How are you all doing tonight? This is J-Man, of course, and welcome to episode 239 for the Semi-Valentines Day Special here on the J-Man Show. The one that started it all, and, you know, I gotta go ahead and let some of my friends know that they're right, man. You know what I mean? When my theme song is playing, I usually am jamming out to it in the back. Oh, man. Hey, so how are you guys doing tonight? I hope you're doing a lot better than me right now because, you know, here's the thing. Man, I am riding the wave, son. One crashes, but the other one supplies. You understand what I'm saying? And no, it has nothing to do with tonight's subject matter or anything regarding that. It's just like, you know, I got a lot of things coming at me, but me being me, jumping into the fray and having a good time, I'm winning battles here, and I think I'm edging somewhere closer in the war of things, but I know that there's more coming. And you know what? I kind of like it. So yes, this is how it is, man. I mean, it's either the responsibilities of life, responsibilities of running J360 Productions, or pretty much just making sure that you guys have a nice episode tonight and a nice episode tomorrow. And of course, Jams 41 hangs in the distance. I like it. You know, as I look at the poster of Jams in the back and I'm pointing to it like how the wrestlers do every WrestleMania, like, because it's a damn rule. Like, you don't know that when March rolls around, WrestleMania's coming. Well, I sure hope the card looks good because they really book some tiresome matches sometime. You get what I'm saying? But hey, that's source for another episode. And not only that, I'll take the missus to one of those because I always wanted to go to a WrestleMania thing, and I kind of, gave that away. But anyway, so I see that a lot of you out here, I hope, are living your lives, getting back on top of things. I know that the mask mandates for some areas are starting to go away, and that's great. I mean, Delaware's is starting to fade away too, and which is okay. But you got to realize this: as bushy as my beard is, I haven't seen my lower face in years anyway, so it really doesn't matter. You get my drift? But I see that we're all finally getting out of that little problem. And hopefully at this point, like, you know, antibodies build up and that we're actually able to get on with our lives. And I know a lot of y'all are wanting to do that. But you see, there's some people out there who unfortunately like this stuff and want to keep it floating around. And they don't realize that they're the problem of things. And if we're not dealing with the overall plague of things, then, of course, you know, things fall apart in the political scheme of things. It's starting to come back again. History always repeats itself. No matter how many times people try to knock history or try to repaint history or try to figure out a way to say, you know what, let's take apart the bits here. We don't want to talk about this, but we're going to talk about the history that everybody gets indoctrinated into and realize how great these people are. But you see, every February, though, we'll dig up the history that we don't want to talk about, keep that on speed dial for at least 28 days, and then only hope that we cover every nook and cranny of it, because when March rolls around, we're going to go look for gold. It's so scary how accurate that is. Let that sink in a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? Not on this damn show, though. You know, here's the thing. The way things are going about and the way people are just trying to mess up subject matter, I wish I had a science show going on right now, too. I'm going to go ahead and work on that. Because if you're going to go ahead and mess up stuff on the political education scale, well, you know what? Hey, I'm going to go ahead and do some stuff here. Why not? Stuff is so ridiculous, man. You know, and just like book burning. Oh, yeah, they're doing that crap again now. Yeah, because, you know, once again, when you take up extremist ways of doing things, that doesn't draw attention at all, right? Right. I am totally against that. You know what I mean? What is it? Fahrenheit 451 syndrome all of a sudden again? Like, give it a rest, man. And I'm sure they probably got the Harry Potter books on that list because, oh, witchcraft. Oh, I can't handle that. Oh, my sensibilities, my sensitivities. Oh, how am I going to explain it to the people I know? And it gets like that. It gets ridiculous. But, of course, you know, while I'm dealing with those kind of things to look into, trying to work on the subject matter for tonight's episode was a bit crazy because I've covered a lot about Valentine's Day and matters of the heart and how people are kind of dumb about this thing eons ago. But you see, the thing about it is that, once again, you realize that people don't take responsibility for the way they act, and they still treat people like crap. And then, like, you know, as we are getting out of the pandemic, I hope, people are starting to go back out and do things again, which you should allow yourself to do. But you see, the problem is they all want to do it at around this particular time. Oh my God, Jay, it's Valentine's week. What am I going to get my lady? What am I going to do here? I don't know how to talk to girls. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, wait, Galentine's Day is coming up. We're all going to unite because we needs no man. This stuff is crazy. It really is. You know, it's funny. Christmas, we're always talking about, like, how, you know, we spend too much damn money and we spoil and we give into the capitalist ways of doing things. And then comes January, where we start doing the New Year, New Me bull stuff, which usually lasts about maybe a couple of weeks. But if you carry on through it, hey, more power to you. I mean, I'm right there with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just motivation. It should be disciplines that carries you along the way. You know, just a little tidbit there. But you see, then all of a sudden February comes up, and somewhere around February 14th, people start losing their minds, man. People start making fun of the single people again and all this other crazy stuff. Or try to go ahead and dump down on people who actually are trying to date or actually are trying to meet people, and then try to call them weird and be as counterproductive as possible for what they're doing. So, now, the sad part about it is that the mental health toll it takes. Life's complicated, you know? Like, a whole lot of stuff, it just gets all out of whack. See, I've been working in media for a long time, you know, independent media, and actually stepping my way up into, you know, the studio market and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, you know, one of my coworkers tells me that I need to edit a program's final stuff a little bit better. And I'm like, how? I didn't make the damn thing. But I'll look it over, and I go ahead and I make sure it's all clean and taken care of anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like a bridge to nowhere argument with that. See, it doesn't take a toll on my mental health because I'm always like this. You don't like my style? That's your problem. But the thing about it is, I still do my job. You see what I'm saying? I still make sure, like, stuff is formidable, stuff is all set and ready to go. Now, how that is akin to Valentine's Day is like this. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who actually take note of what they're going through, and they try to even out everything. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they try to follow through. They try to, you know, bridge a gap. Because, I mean, there are certain times where life can get really lonely, too. And that hurts, you know? I understand those kind of people. I know the chronically single people. I know the people who are afraid to even try because the way, like, society, like, mistreats them and all that stuff. Or they get locked into a relationship that they thought was going to be, you know, sunshine and rainbows, but it turns out to be nothing but World War I. And then the thing is, they're in the trench and they got trench foot and they ain't running nowhere, you know? Little things like that. I can't help who you meet out here. I can't help, like, you know, all that kind of stuff that you're going to go through. I mean, life doesn't owe you anything. Life's a bitch and then you die. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the way. You have to make choices. You have to follow through on things. And then here's the thing. Have courage in how you do. It's like, you know, just like hearing that kind of criticism at my job. You think I'm not going to go to my job? I'm going to go to my job, and I'm going to show these people exactly who the hell they're dealing with. And at that point, they're going to be like, you know what? We knew there was something about it when we saw that J360 logo. Simple as that. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is that as leader of this whole great crew here and the front man of the tribe, you don't want to mess with me on that level. Because that's who I am. You understand? But when it gets right down to, like, Valentine's and all, it's like, I need to remind you that don't kill yourself over anybody in this world, okay? Now, sure, you might have those daydreams where, like, you know, everything's all, you know, everything's in pink. Everything's actually working out. You know, like, nobody's lying to anybody. The truth is there, and it's just a beautiful moment. And beautiful moments can happen even in dystopian times like this. You just got to be willing to go for it and everything. But, you know, the thing is that sometimes it might not work out the same way you'd want it to work out. Because that's what people do. Sometimes surprises in life happen. But, you know, like, you gave it a lot of energy. You gave it a lot of time. And you probably hate the way it made you feel, right? You know, you probably did. Let's just say that. I remember, like, when I was a kid, I used to get Valentine's all the time. And then when I became a teenager, you know, I had to get Valentine's for one prime person. You know what I mean? Whoever their significant other was at the time. And things like that. It used to be like people were willing to give love before at the same time somebody in our lives, whether it's a burnout adult or it's like some sort of authority figure, came along and just ruined that. You know what I mean? Like, I used to get love notes and all that kind of stuff. It was okay, but, you know, it's like this. It's all about who you followed up on, and as one person, you had to pick, you know, whoever was going to be there, unless you were going to play the field, and, you know, playing the field is all right, but, you know, at the end of the day, some people are still playing the field to this day, and they ain't like they 45s and stuff. So when you see, like, things on media outlets that are like, oh, man, dudes over 40 shouldn't be doing this, that's a crock, okay? Dudes over 40 are doing quite a lot more and spreading so much game around. I don't understand, like, the age limit that people run around here and throw out. Unless you're trying to rob the cradle, which at the same time, if you are, get out of my show audience. Get out of my audience. I'm not dealing with it. You understand what I'm saying? I used to know somebody that did that crap. Don't know where he is. Don't care. You understand? But the thing is that people just don't make no sense with this. And once again, they overpower it. You don't need one holiday to show love, okay? You know, and if you are single for Valentine's, okay, great. If you want to go ahead and remedy that, you can go do some speed dating. You don't have to necessarily go on Tinder. You don't necessarily have to go on, what's that one that's running around now, Hinge? The dating app you're supposed to get rid of. Like, a lot of people have gone on all these things. Some people even pay for the pro package because they want to be up in that whole thing. I'm like this. This is your choice and your money, but let's just say this, okay? Go on ahead and do some other things outside of this, all right? But then again, at the same time, don't be putting all your eggs in one basket where you're going after, like, this significant person. And we'll get to that later in the show. But it's like, people go all in on this stuff, and it's admirable, but at the same time, scale it back. Okay? How are you feeling? You see, I ain't worried about like Mr. or Mrs. whatever at that point. I'm looking at you. I'm like, are you okay? Did you love yourself in the matter? You know, little things like that. Now, yeah, with my missus, oh yeah, I love her dearly. I care about her and all that stuff. But I'm pretty damn self-serving sometimes, so let's just be honest. You know what I mean? I got her some gifts, yeah, but I got that PlayStation 5. I'm spoiled, man. You understand what I'm saying? Shoot. I sure did get it, and I'll have to explain that on a Power Play episode. Oh, no, I already explained that. Shit, excuse me, I explained that on Hangouts. Yeah, I did. I gotta remember that. But yeah, I'm spoiled. But you see, the thing is, like, if anything, yeah, spoil yourself a little bit. Be happy about who you are. Grow assertive in self, and then go do all those other things. You understand what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter about your gender or how you identify either. Which, by the way, be aware of some relationship experts out there. You know the ones that bank off this stuff. No, this is what you women gotta do so you can get a rich man. I was like, what the F is this? No, for real, I seen it. And I was sitting there, I was looking at the videos and all the takes of this person telling these ladies this, even though how you know that your viewing audience is 100% ladies. I would like to know that because, see, when I look at my demographic sheet, it tells me who's a woman and who's not, but then I realize, much like any other survey, that can be manipulated in so many ways. So I'm really wondering how they know. But the thing is, look, I was looking at this whole thing, this whole spiel this woman was talking about, and it was nothing more than the biggest loads of BS I've ever heard. Remember when I told you that a confused mind is easier to control than a strong one? Work on keeping your mind mentally strong, okay? Work on that sort of thing. And you see, think about how you'd like to treat yourself if you were dating yourself, okay? Would you like to be ignored? Would you like to be, like, overshadowed and put aside for somebody else? I would hope not, okay? But then you got to also realize the other person you're dealing with might have may have a life of their own. They might have some issues they're trying to handle. Or, people are busy, but at the same time, it's like this. They're not too busy to not spend time with you. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about making time, too. There's got to be some effort on both parts of the man and the woman. I've noticed that with a lot of things that are pertaining to men. Oh, man, yeah. They got to make the effort for us. They got to stay up for us. And I noticed that it's a vice versa argument for the ones for the women. And then you notice that the one for the women are all over the place, where the ones for the men, oh, you got to seek them out. And then they're like this, nah, one self, young blood, one self, man. And I look at this stuff, man, and I'm like, I'm sitting in the back laughing, you know what I mean? Like, I'm right back there looking at this crap because I know that this time of the year is coming, and usually the sad part around this time of the year is suicide rates usually go up, and they stay up there until about April. Anything dealing with this kind of stuff usually goes this way. And then you take a look at, like, what comes out of Reddit. Like, you ever see, like, the incel arguments and all this other stuff that they say? You gotta have that sick, you gotta be built like Kratos in order to have a woman. She gotta like you, but she doesn't see me for me. She doesn't, blah, blah, blah. And I'm, like, looking at this, and I'm like, do you remember talking to this person? Do you remember, like, speaking? And don't ever use phrases like nice girl or nice guy, because at that point you might as well be the punchline on Reddit, and then going a little too hard on it. Sometimes you forget to live your life at this point because you didn't love yourself, or you're like you saw yourself as unattractive and ugly. Like, if you're not careful, and let's go ahead and clear this because this ain't really a joke, this stuff can take tolls on your mental health. It really can. The mileage goes that deep. You wanted it that much, and then the chance is it didn't work. And then all of a sudden, it looks kind of like Loki's self from Thor: The Dark World, the Thor movie that nobody really watched. Little things like that. Well, actually, that was like the most boring MCU movie. A lot of people say Captain Marvel is, but that Thor: The Dark World really was a letdown. Huh. Anyway. But that's just me saying that whole thing. But like I said, this stuff is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart, but you got to be mentally strong and resilient to go through it. Okay? And another damn thing, let me take a look at those Tyler Perry movies. Let me take a look at those Jennifer Lopez movie she made back in the day. She got a new one coming out that's, if you haven't seen Made in Manhattan, this movie is new to you. But, going on about it, though, it's good to see Owen Wilson acting again, too. So, little things like that. But let's take a look at all your romantic comedies, right? We're going to play a little game. See, the thing is, it's like, if I had a shotgun right now, I'd show you exactly what I'd do with them. But if I had a slingshot right now, I'd show you exactly what I'd do with it. But I'd be like, Alan, pull! And then have Alan go ahead and pull the pulley, and then have all your movies being shot up where I go ahead and I hit them with that. Because, see, the thing is, movies are made for this whole kind of stuff because they are movies. In a way, sometimes they do come back together in a movie. In a way, like, the second act, the person loses the other person, but by the time of the third act goes all in, realizes that, that person is worth a damn and comes back. It's because it's the movie. Real life, on the other hand, chances are probably at the train station waiting to go back, but it's a pouring night, and as far as you're concerned, you probably never see that person again, and it might be for the best, because needless to say, how did it make you feel? Did it drain the wallet? Did it really cut you down? Little things like that. But see, once again, I'm looking at the romantic struggles of the bad side of it. And it seemed like modern dating at best seems to work in the favor of making anybody who's involved look like a jackass. That's what it seems like sometimes, don't it? Especially around this time, because how many of y'all got your reservation for your sacred spot so you all can go on that big date? Yeah, that's what I thought. As for me, well, I'm doing things a lot differently this time. Yeah, sure, she's got the gifts, but, ain't the whole thing about going to this and that. Nope, I got the whole damn year to do a whole bunch of wild stuff, and as do all of you. You understand what I'm saying? So, yes, the one day out of the year that people will look into because allegedly this is the day for lovers. I really thought spring fever was the time to be looking for love. I really did. I thought, like, around, whenever Easter lands, that should be the time where, you run after each other, you make that stuff happen because, it's the mood is right, the heat is good, go ahead and give her the wood. I mean, things like that, And for those of you that don't have woods, you know what I mean? Slam it on me, you know what I mean? Do that, hurt me. All that kind of wild stuff. Yeah, and here's the thing. Sometimes you worry too much about the superficial. You forget about the fun. Remember this stuff used to be fun at one time? Flirting used to be fun too, and people found a way to mess that up. I one time knew somebody who was like, flirting is cheating. Is it though? Is it? I really want to know, because maybe it's a different stroke for a different folks kind of deal. But I always wondered this. I mean, like, just because there's some sort of, vibe there doesn't mean that you're actually going to go and, drop some coins in the slot. You know what I mean? Put some bats in the dugout. You're not doing that, are you? I mean, at that point, yeah, that's cheating. But, I'm just like this. You're allowed to look. You just ain't allowed to touch. You ain't allowed to be, like, all groping stuff like that, And then here's another thing. There's many forms of love. There's platonic love. I remember telling somebody else this, and they had to nerve be, love makes me mad. I'm a lone wolf. I was like, oh, shit, will you shut up? I know your story. But the thing about it is, I'm allowed to give you some love. I'm not going to bed with you or anything. That would kind of make the missus really upset at me, and I ain't letting anything get in the way of that. I'm allowed to give you some love and push you along the way and say, hey, guess what, Right there by your side as a confidant. You know what I mean? You ain't getting my D, but you got my respect. Things like that. You see? It's little things. Like, everybody's like, we need more love in the world. We need more love in the world. But as soon as that shows up, I guarantee as soon as it shows up, either in its tough form or in its platonic form, you start keep in mind, I'm working on my attitude as we get there. But, some of y'all start to S a brick, don't you? Some of you start to feel a load, right, where you start saying, like, I'm so repressed it shows. Yeah. See, the thing about it is, it's like, that's how it's complicated. You understand what I'm saying? I'm taken. Happily so. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? It took me a lot to, get to that point. But you see, I was also bold enough, and, I wanted her. I ran through. I didn't worry about, things about me. You know what I mean? And And that's the way it was, you know what I mean? Like, I really got to know her. And, you know, it's a journey on its own. Oh, which, by the way, yeah, that's another thing. Stop shortcutting your journeys. You know what I mean? Let this stuff, let it flow. Be who you are. Don't be embarrassed all the time. We put a lot of energy and anxiety, too. And I know some of y'all, you know, are still struggling with control on that. And it's really about control after a while. Just control yourself. You know, a long time ago, I didn't have social skills. Well, actually, yeah, I had a hard time, you know. And see, the thing about it is adolescence kind of had a role in that, too. So you understand what I'm saying? Once you really rationalize and realize things out, you start really paying attention to things, and you're getting to know this person. Now, this person's on a higher pedestal than other people, you know what I'm saying? But you see, after a while, you got to realize that they're a person too. They go through problems. They go through all sorts of things. They probably need to distance themselves, probably have an aberer or admirer trying to reach out to them when at the same time they're already in a committed relationship with you. It's all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing like, you know, where I have to beat the ladies off with a stick. She probably has to beat the men off with a set of nunchucks. That's just the way it is. And then beauty's in the eye of the beholder, too. And I don't think a lady would want to date a man that looks like ass. So you might want to go ahead and take a bar of soap and clean yourself up really, really good. And then there are some women, you know, like they're very, very open to men that look like and don't take care of themselves. There's quite a lot of people out here nowadays. You got to think about, like, there's like, what, well over 4.8 billion people in the United States alone, you know? So it's just like little things like that. But here's the thing. Nobody said that you had to have somebody on the 14th of February. Nobody said that, once again, you had to go out on the 14th of February or even on the weekends of it. Like, we got a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Outside of the content that I have for you, we have Super Bowl happening on the 13th. Stuff's wild, man. Like, which exactly are you going to do? But I'm sure, like, one way or another, there's going to be some jerk out there because... You know what I mean? There's people out there that have to let everybody in on their relationship, too. You know what I mean? Hey, yeah, look, I got the Jumbotron, and I'm going to go ahead and propose to you. Which, by the way, I was watching a reel of those, like, when they do those public proposals and how they go wrong and stuff like that. Man, I don't think I'll ever be doing a public proposal like that. But I'll just say this, though. More power to you if you do. I mean, like, for real, like... You got everybody's attention, and then if the lady says no or the man says no, like, the egg is, like, right all over your face, and then it's like, man, I want it to be this grand spectacle. Just do it at a romantic private spot or something. You don't have to let the world know. And then, of course, you know, I get it. Like, you know, say, like, if you were single for this Valentine's Day, and I remember, like, a few years ago I was, and... Boy, you see other people exploiting and showing off like, yeah, we eat ice cream out the same cup and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, you know what? It might as well be two idiots in one cup over there because that's what it is. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've seen this stuff before. It never really affects me. I just carry on. But I know, like, some people are a lot more sensitive to it. It's like, when is it my turn? You know, when is things going to work out? And, you know, sometimes once you get past your whole, like, dream phase of things, you're going to realize that that person who didn't reciprocate, they don't matter. And, you know, sometimes, like, the things that you went through, the embarrassment and stuff like that, you got to find a way to climb over it. Because it should be a footnote, not a stop to the train. There's so many other things you could be doing. And then, like, the growth of things, too. But now there's other things, too. The prices of all these damn things. You know what I mean? Like, they really marked up candy this year. I was looking at this stuff. I was like, damn. Okay. Because I was sitting there for a while trying to figure out what to get the misses regarding candy. And fortunately, I found a nice bag of M&Ms. But, you know, that's the thing. Phew. That stuff was up there. I was like, no, I ain't giving her no $5 for no damn Reese cup set. Are you out of your mind? Seriously. But she's so worth it, though. Get out my face. You know what I mean? Little things like that, man. and then buying flowers. Flowers end up dead in the mail. Little stuff like that. You know how some of y'all are. Man, I'm just saying, it is what it is. Now, if you want some strategies on how to do this kind of stuff, well, see, fortunately, I don't think too many people, well, it depends on where you live at. But don't pay attention to the ones that are, like, macking out and all that kind of stuff. Don't go to no fancy restaurants that day. DoorDash your stuff if possible. But then again, I don't know. They'd probably be a little busy too. But still, you know what I mean? There's other ways you can go about this. And then not only that, stay the hell away from social media. Stay away from it. Don't jump on it. If you're really hypersensitive about this stuff, do not go on social media. Matter of fact, take it off your phone right now. You know what I'm saying? Don't even try it. This stuff is insane. Like, I look at it from time to time, and I'm like, well, no wonder these people are trying to jump off a bridge and stuff now. And then, like, the whole dating game is a joke, too. Sometimes. Because I know, like, some of the people out here, oh, I went on a date and all this kind of stuff, and it doesn't seem to be a good follow-up to it. And I'm like, what are the rules of engagement regarding this stuff now? You know, like, you would think that some people do the 3-date rule. Some people just really just jump in and get to know each other and stuff like that. Some people, on the other hand, they got to go through all these loops and hurdles. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, once again, not thinking and mindful of somebody else's mental health, but did you go through this crap when you were dating somebody else? Is that what it is? Because, I mean, like, did you have a whole Olympic relay plan when you were doing it? Why the hell do you think you can do this to somebody else? You know what I'm saying? And shows like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, they don't help this. I think there's this other show out there too. What was it, like the Prison Lovers one? And I'm not talking about it like, you know, but there probably is a segment in there where, you know, Hank and Bubba were trying to get together, things like that. That probably is. It's a very open society nowadays. Yeah. See, it's little things like that. That's another damn thing. Much like the movie example earlier, Alan, pull! Have him fire off a TV and I shoot at it. TV's stupid too, man. For real. Don't pay attention to none of these things, okay? And if there's somebody you really want to get to know, you really want to talk to, well, here's the thing. Why don't you just talk to the person? Yeah, just talk. And don't expect an immediate answer because, once again, world's busy and that person really doesn't know you. But if they take a shot and they see what you're all about, fine. Cool. You know? And don't be like, oh, I love you. I love you for a long time. Oh, let's finally get it together. Oh, why not? I can see all the heat and everything of the passion tonight. Please let the bridge come together. And see, at that point, as you're being escorted away into the happy farm, because God knows you don't need to be in there, no computer or no phone or no any sort of relationships at all at this point. Nah, don't do that either. Relax. Okay? Relax. Take your time. And note that there is no deadline to these things. Getting to know people should be a journey. And then also, it doesn't get any better when you're older, too. Oh, I love this crap. Remember, speaking of that person that said that they were a lone wolf. By the way, that's a very stupid assessment about yourself. The loner lifestyle. You get nothing out of it. Okay? You want to know why? Because, yeah, as you do that thing, you're always going to, every itch needs a scratch. And you're always going to want that companionship and something to talk to. Even the ones that are really, really hard-boiled about it. They'll say that kind of stuff. They'll blog, I don't give a damn. If they're over there doing that kind of crap right now, MF's lonely, okay? Let's just say it is. That bastard's lonely. And if you are of a certain age, and I mean like to the point where you're not in high school where you get to see and talk to people all the time, or you're in college and you get the same thing, you know, here's the thing. It's going to be a little harder. And then sometimes you might have to use like certain apps and all that kind of stuff for yourself, as you are, unless you're going out to those certain events and things. But you see, it's like this, okay? Unless you're really taking the time to do it, you get nothing out of it because that's all you're going to think about. And then there's going to be that one day where you're 45 and you're going to be like, dang, I need to meet people and stuff. And that's usually how they all turn out. They start being like, I need to meet people. I need to blah, blah, blah. And then they're playing catch up all the time. Whereas, like, if you're like me and you caught yourself early and you're like, you know what, why the hell not me? And then you go ahead and you take your chances and you go ahead and you try to talk and you meet people and stuff like that and you start building a network. And you see, the thing is, I've done that in my 20s and on up. You know what I mean? Like, there was a time where I did the whole, like, solo, I'm going through life alone kind of crap. And let me tell you something. It didn't work. And I'm glad it didn't. Because I met a lot of cool people. You know, men and women alike. And and going into the women, you know what I mean? Just because I'm not taking them home and stuff like that, and I'm not sleeping with them, doesn't mean that there can't be something strong there. You understand what I'm saying? There has to be a different kind of resolve, and I'd like to say this. I would love people to really rethink and normalize actually trying to build connections. And the thing is, don't be afraid if, like, somebody really wants to go to that way. But if you're in a committed relationship, say no. And if it's really important to you, say no and be about it. And if that person is still going on about this kind of stuff and they can't understand that stuff, well, it's time to cut the cord. Nobody should make you feel guilty for your choices. I would love to see some of these ladies out here that I know finally feel a love vibe for J-Man and try to make it think that J-Man's going to leave his missus for that girl. Where the hell were y'all when she wasn't here? Oh, that's right. Didn't happen, right? Little things like that. And she's going to be here forever. So, yeah. You know, little things like that. I'm off the market. But there's lots of other guys that are looking for a good companion and stuff like that. And there's lots of women out there looking for a good companion too. But at the end of the day, it's all about bridging the gap. And see, you got to realize there's a lot of stupidity and misinformation out here. It's kind of hard to get a word in edgewise. You understand what I'm saying? But if somebody's really playing you for a fool, and you'll know this because you'll feel it. You will know this. Let your intentions show through you a little bit, okay? Don't worry about it. If you got to go back to square one, it's okay to go back to square one. Okay? That means that you're just going to have to build a new rocket. It's okay. You're just going to have to really rework things. Now, I know some of y'all are like, I'm at my last rope, Jay. You don't know what I've been through. Then why the hell am I doing this episode? Of course I know what you've been through. Think about it now. Don't beat yourself up worrying about this kind of stuff. Sometimes things happen. And I'm showing I give a damn by letting you know that while a lot of this stuff is built on this kind of crock and a lot of people seem to get a high off of people's embarrassments or any sort of struggles of trying to get there, let me just remind you, there are a lot of single, lonely, tiresome people out here. And not tiresome because they're tiresome because at the end of the day, they're just really, really tired of the way people act towards them as they try to get out of their own way. That's the thing. And see, I'm not a relationship expert by any means, but after a while, when you start paying attention to things, you start to get a grasp on stuff. Don't lie to yourself. Okay? Don't deny and manipulate yourself into going back into abuse, because at that point, you're abusing yourself just as bad as the other person that's probably abusing you is. And that's bad within itself, too. And you got to know when to leave if something's not benefiting you and there's no win-win here. The same like when I was working at the retail job and, at the end of the day, they were trying to get some abuse on me. And I was like, I'm not taking it. So I got up out of there. You got to look at it like that sometimes, too. It's okay to leave. But if it's something that's with meaning and there's no abuse going on, but you see somebody else coming up that got a bigger booty and all that kind of stuff, that's a trap too. So stay the hell out of that. You understand what I'm saying? Because that one with the bigger butt wasn't even dealing with you behind until they saw like somebody actually gives a damn about you and was patient with you the whole roadway through here. You understand? Now that's crazy in itself. A lot of people don't want to be in the cuckoid role either, but it's tough. But the overall thing about it is this. It's a risk, but in some cases, it's a well worth it risk. The most expensive thing is risk aversion. Remember I told you all this, and then living with infinite uncertainty. And then the whole idea shrug. This is my whole thing. Shrug. Just gonna live my life. I was open and upfront and honest about every damn thing. You understand what I'm saying? And the same thing could be for like a lot of y'all. And when, guess what? If these people out here are just too stupid enough to get the hint, it's okay. That's their problem. Move on to your new opportunities. And as I say that, this is still a Semi-Valentines Special. And I didn't give you an end date for it because there is none. But I know some of y'all are like this. Oh, I'm going to swear off romance and all that kind of stuff. Look, much like a competing boxer, right? A competing boxer is a lot more formative and a lot more attuned to his or her ability as they compete and they go through different rounds, right? They're not taking a break and putting themselves on a bench. They're still formidable and still competitive. Now, as they get older, they might have to change their game up, but they're still competitive and they're still moving on, right? You know what I mean? There's a chance that they could probably be the rising start and the underdog fighter to actually make it to the top and probably face off against, like, whoever the champ is at the time. You understand? But when you go ahead and you say you're not going to date or you take yourself out of the game, well, you see, when you take yourself out of the game, even in podcasting, even in anything, you put yourself on a bench. And then you put yourself on that bench. And you know what happens when you stay on a bench too long? Kind of like the same way when you sit on a couch. You get lethargic. You get to the point where, guess what? Time didn't wait for you behind, but it took a toll on you, and you got soft, and you now are sitting here like this. But then all of a sudden, you get something in your mind, kind of like, you know, like anybody does, and say, why not me? And you get back in the ring. You know what you have to do, right? You have to fight a twice as hard battle now. You got to get trained and in shape now to go do this stuff. In addition to going ahead and putting yourself out there, you got to get used to talking to people again and things. You understand what I'm saying? Trust me, it's a lot more expensive to go ahead and take yourself out of the game instead of just being in the game and all that kind of stuff. That's like me looking at the complaint that I got from my job today. I guess it was a complaint. I don't know what the hell it was. It wasn't really a good pep talk, I'll tell you that. That's like me looking at that and saying, I'm moving on. I'm not coming back. I'm done. See what I'm saying? Instead of me looking at that, be like, I'm coming in at the same time that I usually come in, and we're going to handle this and have a little powwow. And I'm going to scare the living hell out of you in all the right ways. See, the thing is like, you know, I do compete. And if anybody notices that, yeah, you got to compete. Sometimes, like, life is that way. It's not a whole spectating kind of sport. It's not a wallflower looking in, outside looking in kind of way. You got to be an active participant in this stuff. Lest we forget. In all aspects of life, if it's something that surrounds you and your story, regardless of who you're in a romantic relationship with, what job you have, the business you build, all that kind of stuff. See, I don't get to do like what some of the people I know get to do. I have to be there. I'm in the damn ring. You understand what I'm saying? I don't get to do that camp out stuff and all that kind. Maybe y'all could explain that stuff a little bit better to me. Maybe you could, but I'm an active participant. More so than I ever thought I was, but yeah. And it goes to matters of the heart, too. And don't worry about other people and their vices and all that kind of stuff. And the truth is, like, say like you actually got with the person and you see like how like there's some negativities on this stuff. Okay, well, point it out to them a little bit. And if they're willing and confident enough to tell you about it, is it a good sale or a great sale or a deal breaker, I should say. You got to leave that up to you. That's at your discretion. But if you can go ahead and rise above it and go ahead and just be on that level and, like, you know, have a tight bond there, that something beautiful is about to happen. You just don't rush it and all that kind of stuff. You got to, you know what I mean? No instant gratification in this game. I think Sinbad said it best in House Guest, you know? You know, building that relationship and all that stuff is like having a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bird at home that, you know, that you glazed, you took care of, and that, you know, that you're having it baked there slowly so you can get all the flavor and the juice out of it. But then all of a sudden, you know, The other girl is pretty much like a chicken McNugget. Yeah, you went ahead, you paid for the cheap price, and you go ahead and you leave and have it because it's quick and fast and you enjoyed it. But at the same time, it's nowhere near as appealing as that big, sexy bird you got at home. And no, he didn't put the sexy spin on it like I did. I did because, once again, when you prepare a baked chicken so good, man. Nugget who? See, things like that. That's why you gotta look at it sometimes. Yeah, see, the chicken bacon at home is the relationship, whereas the fling is the nugget. So we take this piece of crap nugget and we throw it out there with all the rest of the damn McDonald's wrapping. Which, by the way, I hope I get some of the gross for mentioning it. Because at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. We go ahead and we work on the glazed bird here because that's the relationship that matters right now. Boy, howdy, if she ever hears this episode and gets at me about it, that'll be funny. Hey, I'm kind of hungry right now anyway. So it's time for me to wrap this up, y'all. Like I said, live your lives accordingly. And at the same time, don't worry about Valentine's Day. I hope I gave you a few good laughs and some insight. But until then, this is J-Man signing off. I'll be back with the Power Play tomorrow, okay? Peace.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.